Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today we've got a really good video for you. If you're interested in buying a used Jeep Wrangler, we're going to go over what you should be looking for when buying, whether it's a JL or a JK, just in general, a used Jeep Wrangler. Maybe what you find can help negotiate that price down and just to make sure you're getting a good vehicle. All right, y'all, so the first thing we're going to be checking is stock versus modified. When you're out hopping around and you're looking for a Jeep, I'm going to use mine for example here. You want to look for whether it's stock or modified. So determine which one you want. You can get a modified Jeep, just understand that you don't really know what they did to it, if it was professionally installed or installed by the person themselves. So you just have to kind of accept that risk and consider the potential issues with those aftermarket parts. Are you mechanically inclined? Are you going to be able to fix them? The one I have in front of me here is completely stock, and that's what I preferred to go through. If I was going to build it, I'd rather just do it myself. So just keep in mind that stock versus modified does matter. And also, I want to make sure you guys definitely check for signs of off-road use. Okay, guys, so while we're underneath the Jeep, you're looking for any type of oil leaks, checking that oil pan here. You're looking for any obvious signs of abuse. Are there dents? Are there dings? Are these skid plates damaged? Signs of wear and abuse are gonna generally be pretty easy to see. As you can see here, guys, this is my Jeep. It's really clean. So this is a really good example of what it should look like. You see these are all skid plates here. Are they damaged? Are they dinged? Are they rusted? Are your differentials leaking any fluid? I know I'm kind of crawling up underneath here, but these are the things you need to be looking for. Look at the lines, look at the body that you can see underneath here. Look how clean, right? So the idea is that you're looking to see how clean it is and to identify if it's been, if any abuse has actually been done to the Jeep at all. This is going to be a huge factor on whether or not this is the kind that you want to purchase. Coming to the rear end here, you want to make sure that your shocks aren't leaking. You want to make sure that the lines are looking good, that there's no rust through here. Everything here looks pretty normal to me. Make sure that your caps are not rusting. Even if it's got a minor rust from everyday use is fine. I'm talking about like really bad rust, like almost like jeopardizing the integrity of the metal rust. A little rust is fine. If you go up to the north, you're going to get a lot of rust because there's salt on the roads. Okay, that's normal. So I'm just talking about, if it looks really bad where it's going to be so fragile you don't want to mess with it, that kind of rust. But minimal rust is okay. But you do want to check these things, and you want to make sure that everything is nice. Like obviously mine has some salt on it because it's it snowed here in Virginia, but everything should look pretty sound when you're looking through it. No leaks, no dents, no damage. You can see there's no damage on the underside of the differential casing here. There's no damage on the shocks. Underneath the shock mount here, there's no damage. So just these are some things that we want to look for. I'm going to spin around to the front so we can show you here as well. All right, guys, same concept here. You want to look at that steering stabilizer. You want to take a look at all of the components here for your steering, your front track bar, your front differential. Make sure there's no leaks, dents, damage. And be thorough while you're looking, because these are all negotiating tactics, okay? So make sure that your Jeep, the underneath the body is sound, because it has to have a solid frame for it to last you a while. And as you can see here, guys, mine, the one I found here, is really clean, looks really nice, and you can tell there's no obvious sign of off-road abuse. All right, guys, so when you're walking around doing your exterior inspection, a lot of the Jeep models had paint bubbling in the door hinges, sometimes around the door handles, and then around like where the trail badges are and everything. So you want to make sure that you inspect these hinges. If the used Jeep has, miles, this one has almost 60,000 on it. So relative, everyday use is going to be normal. I'm talking about paint bubbling where you push it and you can pop, or you hear it crack, or you see it crack. Stuff like that is something you want to be able to be conscious of. You're going to have to probably protect it later. But something that can also negotiate that price down for you. Along with looking for the paint, you want to look for any kind of dents and scuffs on the side. Obviously, off-road abuse and damage you can see on the outside if they're going through trails and whatnot. But for the exterior, you want to give it a good look. It doesn't have to look perfect on the exterior for a used Jeep, depending on the money you're paying. But you want to make sure that it's clean enough where you're happy with it, or you can negotiate that price down. All right, y'all, so when you are starting to look at your engine bay, the first thing I want to bring to your attention is the battery. Check all of your contacts and all your points. Make sure they're not rusted or corroded. Ensure the fuse box is solid. Make sure all your fuses are in there. And just make sure that box is solid, that no one's been messing with that box, because if there's modifications done to the Jeep, chances are that they've done a fuse tap and that they've modified the box somehow if they had to. I want to make sure when you get inside this, it's a little hard to show you here, but you want to look where these coil packs are. There are coil packs here on this side of the engine, and there are coil packs on that side of the engine, okay? So you need to look for any type of oil. You want any kind of fluid that possibly would be leaking. You need to check. So if it's not leaking from the engine down to the ground, it may be leaking from the manifold or from the engine onto the block. So I want you to definitely check that. Get your flashlight up here, get up in here, and you need to be looking everywhere in this engine bay. If the engine bay is appearing clean, then there's a good chance that it may be clean. If it's been wheeled, you're going to see probably dirt, dust, grime all up in here, and it's just going to be probably filthy if the vehicle has been off-roaded. Not all off-roading vehicles means it was abused. It just means that it was used for its intended purpose, right? This is Rubicon, that's what they do, is off-roading. So kind of hard to show you from up here. But down here, you're going to have, so there's the steering motor for a JLs, and they went from, these models had aluminum, the steering motors. And a lot of people were having issues with them cracking, and a lot of people were not having issues with them. So there is a TSB out there that if there was an issue, they go to steel. It's not a huge deal, but it is something just to consider if you're looking for a JL. If it has an aluminum block, it's really easy to figure out. If it has one, if it has steel, a magnet will stick on it. If it doesn't have steel, a magnet won't stick on it. But get inside the engine bay, look it over, get in there. Don't be afraid to look at everything, and make sure that you're giving everything a once-over, because again, you're purchasing a vehicle that was intended for off-road use, and you want to make sure you're getting the best price and the cleanest vehicle. When you all start to come into your interior inspection, I want you to come to the doors, check out the doors, right? Check out here where any kind of scratches, dents, or dings, typically by where you get your feet, where people rub on the seats to come in. Check on the sill. Is there any damage? How does it look? You can get sill protectors for this, by the way. How are the carpets? Do they have floor mats? And then just go kind of systematically through this, and let's just take a look. Is it clean? Is your screen is it damaged in any way? Is there a screen protector on it? You're gonna know if this vehicle was used or abused, okay? So you're going to want to check everything. Do not leave anything out if this is the vehicle that you like and that you want, okay? You want to make sure that everything looks nice, that the passenger seat looks nice, Does everything work as it should? Does this come up? Does it not? Do all of your buttons work? Do all of your mechanical, you have to slide the seat forward and back work? You want to take a look at everything. And guys, it's not always going to be perfect, and I understand that. And I just want you guys to know what to look for, because you're making a large purchase and you want it to be reliable for you. So just make sure that you're checking everything, especially if you guys have the Freedom hardtop, okay? You want to make sure that everything looks good on top, because these are expensive tops, all right? Not saying that they're perfect, and they're definitely not, but you want to go around and just verify that these, that the tops, that the seals are good. Jeeps are notorious, is, maybe still, for some of these seals to leak up here. Okay, and you can see these ones look really nice. They used to, this is a drain here, and then they would come in and get a drip. Sometimes people will wake up and there's a drip on the floor. So you want to make sure that all this stuff is looking good. The back window, does the rear window washer fluid work? Does your rear camera work if your Jeep is equipped with it? These are all little things to look for. How is the top maintained? Are these seals still intact? Because it's important. You have an expensive vehicle that you're buying, so you need to ensure that you're getting the best bang for your buck. All right, y'all, I wrote some notes down because I specifically look for certain things when I'm doing a test drive. So suspension and your steering. I want you to hit bumps in your suspension so you know how the vehicle reacts to those bumps. Is it wobbly? Does it jar? Does the suspension seem too stiff? Does it lose responsiveness to your steering when you hit them? These are all things that you need to consider. Next thing I want you to listen to, especially on these Jeeps, whether particularly the 3.6 Pentastar, listen to the engine. Does it tick? Is there funny sounds? Okay, listen to, you gotta listen to it. That ticking sound is a big deal. That was the first thing I did when I started this up. Listen for those unusual noises, okay? Because those are all gonna be huge factors. Does it feel smooth, or is it rough shifting? So when you go into the older JK model with the 5-speed, you can get kind of rough shifting. I believe that transmission was really used in their minivan series at some point, like for Chrysler. I could be wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments there. But when they shifted over to this 8-speed transmission, it was supposed to be more fluid and efficient. For me, for example, I hit bumps, didn't feel anything crazy in the steering, and my shifting was very smooth all the way from I'd say 1 through 8 to 8-speed, and then up on the highway, and then coming all the way down to a stop. Okay, so, and you want to again check for any kind of rough idling, right? And I obviously check for engine codes on your dash. Just know that some Jeeps are notorious for trouble lights. And they're not always a big deal. Some of them are, some of them aren't. You just have to determine if there is one, the dealer should fix it for you. And if you do get one later down the road, bring it to Advanced Auto, AutoZone, O'Reilly's. They can tell you what it is, because Jeep is going to charge you $200 to get a diagnostic check done on that. So just, those are all like things to consider when you're going on that test drive. Don't be afraid to test drive it. Bring it up, bring it through the ringer, put it in 4-wheel drive in a parking lot. Don't drive it around on bare pavement too much. I just put it in 4-wheel drive to make sure that it actually goes into 4-wheel drive, and then I bring it right back out of 4-wheel drive. If you drive a 4-wheel drive on pavement with no wheel slippage, you're going to get torque windup, and that can just lead to a bad day for everybody. All right, everyone, so that kind of wraps up our video for today. I hope we covered most of the points you were looking for. Again, I didn't go through a 100-point inspection like a dealer does, but I think from a Jeep owner to a potential Jeep buyer, and having Jeeps in the past and just knowing what to look for can really save you a lot of money. So I hope the video helped, and if it did help you, put it in the comment below. If you have anything to add, please put it in the comment below. Help everyone else out. We want to save everyone a little bit of money, and everyone should be getting the best deal. Thanks for watching, and we appreciate your support. God bless.